Welcome to lesson number 8 of Frank's 8-week marketing class. This is video 8 of 8. So you're watching the very last class where I take 2 to 3 clients, Stacy and Dallas here, Julianne and Brian, who is Brian here?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Had to expand,
I'm here, Frank.
I had to expand my Zoom window. So there you are. And I take them through to get results on the program. Julianne is a real estate professional. Just a quick recap up in Pennsylvania. Stacy and Dallas are real estate professionals in Utah. Brian's also a real estate professional in Utah, but using the program for agent recruiting. So if you go back and watch all these replays, please don't watch this one. If you're watching the replays, this is a recap of everything we've covered so far. But go watch lessons 1 through 7. And then we'll show you how to get the best possible results you can get when you're giving Vyral marketing money to help you stay in touch with the database. All right. So last of 8 classes. So we're going to talk today about getting sponsors to help offset the costs of all this. So now that you got an audience going on, who else wants to be in front of that audience? I'll show you how to raise money. How about that? That's today's lesson. Okay. But I wouldn't even deal with today until you master 1 through 7. You can't really jump to today of raising money until you got 1 through 7 going on. So this is kind of the cherry on top. This is your dessert after you get through the main course and everything else is what we're going to talk about in today's lesson, everybody. Okay. So let's go through the lessons. What have we discussed so far? And let's recap, shall we? Here we go. All right. Are you prospecting and advertising correctly to build your database of your target client? We do not do this for you at Vyral Marketing. We will not execute meeting number 1 for you at Vyral. You have to figure it out on your own, or you have to hire another vendor. Okay. Brian, you decided to put in an outbound calling campaign, texting campaign, reach out campaign to all the agents in Utah to offer your book of scripts and to see who's interested in those. And then when they're interested in your book of scripts, you add them to your database. Julianne, you wanted listings. You decided to round up all the homeowners in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania that have lived in their home for quite some time and send them a letter that you have buyers. And that's worked really well for you. You can watch all the replays of the results so far. And Stacy and Dallas, you wanted people wanted to sell their home. So you rounded up 3,000 or 4,000 homeowners in Utah and sent them a letter. That's worked out. You got a couple calls. People are interested. Your phone's ringing, right? So you're going to take those people and you're going to bring them into your database. Okay. So you have to have a strategy to build it. Now, we got to make sure you have your right database in the system, that it's loaded up on Facebook retargeting and email marketing, everything. We want to make sure we're sending them all 2 helpful videos a month with 1 lead generation message. This has all been covered in the class to date. Watch the replays. Your best contacts are getting a letter every single month. And the biggest pain in the butt with that is actually building the mailing list. We talked about that in lesson 5. Then, okay, now that we got the heavy hitter stuff going on, okay, let's play around with a little social media. Let's get some retargeting happening. Do you guys want to see an ad I'm running for Vyral? So every week I like to interview customers and what they're doing for results. And we'll just get them on Riverside, maybe get you guys on Riverside, talk about the results you're getting. Get maybe a 20 or 30-minute case study, which is, by the way, something all of you can do for your video content. And then I'll take that recording and we run it through Opus Clip, which is pretty cool. This is AI is starting to do all the clips. Let me show it to you. So this is what we're using to help make clips. It's like the Chat GPT of taking a YouTube video and turning it into little social media clips. See that? And posted that up on little retargeting, put a couple bucks into it, and a couple thousand people have seen it 6 to 8 times over the past 30 days, just like we talked about, or something that we do. So it's a really easy way to, okay, how do we use some social media to get some more traction with our videos? So unfortunately, I'm locked out of my Facebook account, which seems like happens to everyone these days, so I can't show you. I'll have to go fight that later. Let's go back to the classes so far. Where are we at? Okay. Last but not least are the people who are people clicking links. You get a report of everyone that's clicking the links in your video emails? Are we following up? You're getting people to opt in to the lead generation emails going out. Are you following up? Yes, you got to be doing that. And then finally, okay, Frank, I've hired you at Vyral Marketing to take the database that I'm building of the right people and stay in touch with them to get the most out of it. That's pretty much 2 through 7. That's what Vyral helps you out with, right? Okay. I also want to talk a little bit about today about helping you bring some sponsors in to get access to the audience. But before we do, talk to me. What's working well? What's not working well through lessons 1 through 7? Stacy and Dallas, will start with you. What's working well? What's not working well with 1 through 7?
So number one, we sent the letter. We got some phone calls. We got 2 appointments set and met, and they are going to list. They're waiting till the spring, but they're most likely going to do our funded fixed and list program.
Good.
So we are wondering how we can sort of double down on that and potentially take it to the next level, get the phone ringing a little bit more, because we only set out 3,400. Wondering if we should send out more than that, or if you have any advice.
I have 2 options. All right. So this is for meeting number 1. How do you build the list? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mail more. Mail more. I actually ran the numbers in Davis, Weber, and Salt Lake City County. Those are 3 main counties there, right?
Yes.
There's 300 single family homes, 300,000 single family houses. So I would like you to get to the point where you're mailing 100,000 a month of 25,000 a week. Write that down.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. Write down 300,000 homes. That's a total addressable market. You want to mail it every 90 days, right? A letter. That's kind of the plan that I kind of gave you if you were to go do meeting number 1 on your own. Okay. Well, it's 100,000 letters a month. Dropped at 25,000 a week. Okay. Just so you know, that will cost you roughly 60 grand a month. Now that's insane. That's not normal. But if you have this vision of I want a big real estate team, I want to make millions of dollars, and I want to have a big business, you're going to have a big marketing budget. I think we all can agree with that. So instead of starting small, well, let's mail a couple hundred and thinking small, let's think big. How big is the whole enchilada of the entire market? 300,000 homes. Let's give them a letter every quarter that you have a buyer, right? Okay. That's 100,000 a month. And roughly mailed at standard rates about 60,000 a month. And then just start working your way backward from that. So now when you start thinking that way, the 3,000 letters you dropped is kind of a little dip in the bucket of the total addressable market, isn't it? You got to mail more, and you got to get the economics up if you're going to do direct mail. You got to get the statistical advantages in your favor if you're going to go directly to homeowners to try to find somebody who's bottom of the funnel ready to sell, because statistically it's very hard to find that needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Second option is you should go partner with other struggling agents. You need to go find some other agents that have a database and say, can I co-market with you to work your database with our offers? And I'll pay you a referral fee at close.
What fee would you pay for something, or
20%. So Spring in Your Market does this. I'll put it in the chat. It's retirewithspring.com. I'll put it in the chat for everyone. Let's take a look. Just export and send your CRM database over to us. Stacy and Dallas, we got you. We're crushing it. We'll co-market to it with you, and we'll book the appointments. We'll pay you a 20% fee at closing. 0 work is required of you, fellow agent. We will close the deals for you, and we'll update you every week with access to everything that's going on with your leads. And statistically, we close 1 deal for every 58 people in our database. At our median price point, you'll earn $3,200 for every 58 people you send to us. Not bad, huh? So there's a lot of realtors that are struggling right now that don't have the marketing systems in place to find the business. They either don't know what to do, don't want to do it, or don't have the money, right? So you just got to find that realtor that maybe he's been in business for quite some time, and say, I'll do everything for you with you. I'll just pay you at close of any business that comes from your list. There's a lot of opportunity there. How's that?
No, that's really helpful because I want to mail more, but our personal bandwidth traveling, to Davis, Cooper County is an hour drive, is difficult to meet all those appointments. But yeah, partnering up with someone maybe goes on the
Here,
appointments.
oh, for you to actually go on. Well, this is where you go on the appointment. Yes, you could totally hire agents to do the appointments for you to go
Yeah.
on them. I'm just saying from building your database. Yes, your first option is mail more letters to more homeowners with your message. The
Mhm.
second option, because that's very expensive, at least financially risky. It's only expensive, you don't get the return. All right. The second option is, okay, I don't want to lay out that kind of capital. Let's pull a list of all the agents in Salt Lake that have been in business for 20 plus years with a license. Let's call them up and ask them if they're tired. Pretty much. Are you
Yeah.
tired? We're not. We're building something. We're in that stage of our business and our life. You want to work together. We'll work your database with you. Send it on over. All your leads, all your past clients here. We'll get messages out. You figure out how to do it. And then any business that comes from your list will pay your referral fee at close.
And do you have I guess you have it for spring, but just how to approach them because getting out the ego of the agent to be okay with letting us sort of take that on to be a challenge.
Well, you're kind of using their name to their list still. Go download the 15-minute retirement plan. So go to retirewithspring.com and download their retirement plan.
Okay.
So that's an option.
Yeah.
So if someone were to ask you, hey, how are you building your database of sellers? You'd say, well, we have two main pillars. We send a lot of mail as much as we're comfortable affording to spend. Okay. And we find agents who are tired that have been in business for a long time, and we co-mark with them to their list, and I pay them a referral fee at close, which requires no upfront capital cost. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
And what about even marketing to agents that maybe have listings that have been on the market almost 90 days? They're possibly about to expire, saying, hey, we have this program, we can partner with you on it. Maybe reaching out to those.
Possibly. I think you're better off going directly to consumer, like at scale for listings. That's another option. Again, like we talked about before at the beginning of this, it's more about what you're not going to do versus what you're going to do. I would first get your personal expenses down, start cutting, start living more frugally, free up money for stamps. That's the first thing I would do, if you ask me. And then it's like, okay, what agents do I know that trust us already, that have been in business for a while, that maybe want to do some co-marketing and pay a 20% referral fee, and I do all the work for them. And reach out to them, go on, take them out to dinner, go to lunch, and just say, hey, read this. What do you think about it if we took the risk on the marketing and you didn't, and we did all the work and paid you at close? I would start there.
Okay.
That's where I go. Then the third point is, it's probably not selling because it needs to get fixed up. Maybe it's kind of the house needs some work. Then I would go approach that.
Okay.
Alrighty. Cool.
Yeah.
There's your answer. Julianne, questions through lessons 1 through 7 of everything we've discussed so far before we get into the lesson today.
Everything's going really well for me. I think the only thing that I wish I had done a little differently was had some, I guess, better plan, because it just blew up. I had so many phone calls. I was on the phone and not able to answer all the phone. I mean, it was probably 30 days of just being on the phone 24/7, which I'm not complaining about, don't get me wrong, but probably should have had a little bit better system in place for the results I got.
So one of the challenges you're going to have is when you do marketing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're supposed to get leads.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, well, they all have to be called. They all have to be put in the CRM. They all got to be followed up with. It's a lot of work just to organize all that and talk to them and qualify them and set the appointment. I have always been a big believer. And another check you have to write is hiring someone as a W-2 hire to sit there all day long and do that. Call them an ISA, call them an appointment setter. Okay. One of the things that I think you might want to look into is, Julianne, when do you want to retire? When are you out?
uh,
When are you done?
yesterday.
I was gonna say that, is that really a question I need to answer? It's like 3 weeks ago.
All right. So I'm sure there's somebody out there that would love to maybe take over your business and work your database, let alone with these systems you have in place.
Mm.
Okay. I think it's time for you to start looking for an apprentice.
Well, I actually am talking to 3 people right now that are going to be coming on board for my next mailing with you guys.
Awesome. Great. So I think I have a
And I
message.
actually have a whole system in place now. I think we're very well positioned to handle this much, much better the second go round.
Got it. So this is joinmollyhaynes.com. So we're switching her message where when you do this model, you actually need less agents because you're handing them leads, right? So it's flipped. Instead of having a whole bunch of agents running around trying to get their own business, now when you're handing them business, you need less agents that are good. So she's switching her approach where are you thinking about working with us? We'll start you off as a W-2 employee at $20 an hour plus bonus with, vacation as an appointment setter. You'll pre-qualify our warm inbound seller leads to book listing appointments for our agents. And then you'll shadow and study under them as you learn to graduate to become an agent. So you kind of start up as a junior to a senior, right? So we're bringing them in as appointment setters to follow up on the direct mail leads and all the warm leads coming in, pre-qualifying, working the CRM, making sure no lead falls through to set the appointment for the agent. So we're only booking listing appointments for the agents. So they don't have to be running around finding their own, which is very tiresome. All right. And as they probably spend 6 months to a year doing the appointment setting hourly, then if they want, they can graduate into maybe more of a non-hourly job where they're the ones actually getting the appointment set for them, going on the very appointments and they're shadowing the whole time. So Julian, I think this is a wonderful strategy for you.
I think it is, yeah.
All right. Good. Brian, for recruiting, how are you, my friend? You wanted to work with me to recruit agents. What questions do you have for me on maybe steps 1 through 7 before we get into the final lesson today?
Really, I don't know, not a lot to be honest, Frank, but it's just what we found is it's hard. It just takes time setting up all this stuff, like setting up the new CRM and getting people in there and kind of learning those little nuances, it just takes time. So we've sent out some video emails, and in the past we have done the recruiting emails as well. But the consistency has lacked. So that's the other thing in all this is the consistent effort, just following the plan each day, I think for anyone, right? In any capacity. So that's what we're focusing on. Narrowing down the list. We don't, at least I feel like I don't have as many relationships with agents that I thought I did. And maybe I need to be more involved in the board or whatever, right? But so that other list of like 150 people, I think that's important. And almost kind of like the others is, I feel like we got to do the other stuff to get the leads in order to not entice, but like kind of say, hey, we got the leads and we got the business. So here's an option for you as you come on.
I think that's the number one value proposition for a real estate agent. I think if you put all of your effort into just getting a bunch of listings, you'll never have to worry about recruiting. I mean, the reason you have so much turnover on a team is because your agents aren't making any money. If they're making lots of money, they won't leave. That's kind of the elephant in the room, right? And
Yeah.
what's really holding them back from making a lot of money? Well, they need lots of listings. The challenge is just giving someone a phone and a script and a bunch of numbers and a little small weensy database that they have. Are they really going to be able to make enough money? Well, statistically speaking, 100% no, right? Statistically. So you could double down on these systems where, you're the one going out and building the database. You have the appointment setters. You're setting the appointments for your agents. Really puts you in a position of control. I got this email the other day from sold.com. I'll show it to you. Yeah, here it is. So, Julianne, this is basically you. Okay. hey, our team sets up in-house consultations between you and the seller, and you only have to pay me when it closes. Right?
Mhm.
This is like the number one recruiting message. Come work for my team. I'm doing a webinar. We literally refer you. We set up appointments for you with people who want to sell their house. And you only have to pay for it when it closes, which is exactly the same proposition of joining a team. Plus, they probably get administrative support. Right?
Right.
Yeah. That puts you in a lot of control. So there we go. Anything else before we go into lesson? Make sure that I leave you guys. You guys, it's like I said, hired Vyral to get more business and to recruit more agents. And I want you to have a clear plan. Here's me in my Hawaiian shirt last week. Anything else before we go on to lesson 8 today?
Frank, can I just point one thing out as
Mhm.
we're going through all this? Is when hiring agents, I mean, there's a lot of behind the scenes systems to get them up and running. So the referral route is like a great route, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because then you're not having to deal with training and the
I've
system.
never understood that. Honestly, my entire career, I've never understood how you take someone who has no direct sales experience generally, who's really struggling, and teach them prospecting, lead follow up, going on presentations, handling the contracts, like all of that quickly when they're on 100% commission with not much money and there's not much runway, right? So what you're saying, Brian, is like, I agree with you. When you set the appointment form, all you have to do is teach them how to be a good agent. And that's hard enough, right? Versus like all the bringing in the business stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, just all the behind the scenes, the training, the
Yeah.
time that they take, and so just it's a thought to, hey, maybe think twice about it if that's the route you're wanting to go. Is there's a lot, and that'll take time off of your plate of what you're doing well and your production and your income as well. So it's like, hey, you got to really be committed to it.
My best advice for onboarding, which is kind of just a little bit outside the scope of the training, is to have monthly boot camps where you take the agents through as groups and classes. It's gonna be really hard where you're just kind of being interrupted one on one and everyone's in different tracks all the time. Is that if you really are recruiting, you have a boot camp that starts every 30 days. You take people through as a group, Brian. All right. That's gonna help streamline your training considerably and have lots of videos they can watch beforehand for the lectures. And then you can discuss those lectures the next day versus you spending your time giving the lectures.
Mhm.
All right. It's called the flipped classroom model. So
Frank,
let's
isn't that
then,
what Spring does?
yeah, it's pretty much what everyone does. I mean, if you're scaling at a high level, you have the lectures pre-recorded. It's kind of like, look, I want, hey, viral client, watch all 8 replays. Oh, right? Now let's kind of call and talk about it. Versus like, here's nothing and just call me whenever you need me. Huh? Right? Or I'm on the phone constantly all day long giving the lectures. Do you guys see that? So these types of trainings are very helpful where they watch the trainings first and then they they meet with you. All right. So let's get into the material for today. How does that sound? Here we go.
Cool.
Raising money. Okay. Raising some sponsor money. So advertisers, you're going to, so let's be very clear on the language here. You are going to sell advertising in your videos and in your emails to advertisers. Got it? You're going to sell advertising. So people buy advertising all the time. And the reason they buy advertising is one, is they probably want a relationship with the person selling it. And second is they want exposure to the eyeballs because you have the eyeballs, right? So you're perfectly fine selling advertising. Easy. As long as they're actually advertising. Because that, depending on whose money you take, that could be investigated. Okay. So let's go through the actual, I actually have an agenda here for today. I'll put in the chat. All right. There's our agenda. So let's just talk about what to do for an advertiser. What does an advertiser want? Well, let's keep it really simple. You're going to work a little commercial into each of your videos. You're going to give them a 30-second commercial. You're going to give them a shout out. You've seen them on YouTube videos, right? You're watching a YouTube video and then they do a little native ad in there. Okay. You're just giving it a 30-second commercial. Hey, And before I go into the answer to this question, I just want to tell you about this landscaper. They're amazing. This is why I use them. You got to give Bob a call. Here's Bob's number. If you need landscaping, call Bob. Not that difficult, right? But you're going to sell them a 30-second spot in all of your videos with a live read about them of you telling your audience why they should go hire them. Sound good? Straight up. That's very easy. The next thing is that 30-second commercial, essentially whatever you say is going to be typed up and included as an ad in your emails. So every email you send will have a make sure to call our landscaper. Here's why. Call them. And the call to action is just a phone number. Sound good? You don't need to have a landing page. It's just too complicated. Just the call to action is to call them and maybe use your name. Okay. So you could probably go to someone and say, look, I'll sell you a commercial in all my videos, and I'll sell you an ad in all my emails and maybe on my website to be in front of everyone that I'm in front of. Cool. That's kind of cool. Sweet. Here's the next thing I want you to offer them is a regular phone call, whatever frequency you want. I don't care what the frequency is, but a regular phone call to, one, guide them on their business, and two, to provide them any legitimate personal referrals. Maybe introduce them to people who have closed with you, introduce them to agents that you know. Actually sit down and try to make an effort to actually make some personal introductions. That's it. That's what you offer them. This deal will be done over a napkin at a bar. Okay. It is going to be based upon a relationship. It is B2B selling. Look, you go find somebody who wants access to buyers and sellers and the people you work with. You go talk to them and say, look, I'd like to sell you some commercial in my videos. I like to put you on my emails and my blog. And I like to meet with you from time to time to maybe help you with your business from what I'm learning. We can be thinking partners and see if I can provide you some personal referrals. That's the pitch. Okay. And I guess you can also throw in there too. You invite them to all your team meetings. So if you have a team and they want to build relationships with their agents, bring them in on Zoom and invite them to your team meetings and any events that you have for your brokerage or team. All right. So the next thing you're going to need, now that you kind of have an idea of like, you guys, it kind of makes sense what you're selling, right? You're going to sell advertising. You kind of now understand the deliverables, at least conceptually, of what they're going to pay for. All right. Now, the next thing you need is what's called either an advertising agreement or a co-marketing agreement. And this is something between you and the advertiser that you have to complete. Now, Rocket Lawyer, I'm a big fan of. You can just go there and buy it, but this is just rocketlawyer.com. And this is a simple co-marketing agreement that specifies how two businesses will exchange materials, tools, training in order to market each other's products or services. It may not even be a co-marketing, it might be an advertising agreement. It doesn't really matter. It's just basically, look, money's going to trade hands here, and I'm going to sell you commercials, ad space, and maybe coaching with me. That's it. Definitely not referrals. So maybe even leave that entirely out if you're going after RESPA, which we'll talk about here in a minute, which I'm not an expert on, but you got to keep that in mind. But I want to be clear: they are buying advertising directly from you. Are we all crystal clear on that? And you need either a co-marketing agreement or advertising agreement, and you just go find one online and put it together. Okay.
So you don't want to promise referral.
No, God, no. Leave that out. Just forget I said that. Don't leave anything in there promising referrals. But here's the deal. Could you refer them? Sure. Yes. But that's not what you're trading money for, because that's a huge RESPA violation. Got it? So again, we'll talk about, getting money from people on the settlement statement and off the settlement statement. Off the settlement statement, you don't have to worry about as much. On the settlement is very highly regulated and be investigated as a real estate agent. Okay. But the point is now you need an agreement. So let's say someone says, I agree to pay you X amount of dollars. Give them the contract. And now you guys have where you can go to make that contract, and you have an idea of what you can type in there. Commercials in my videos, ads on my website, personal one-on-one coaching. How about that? An invitation to team meetings. Beautiful. So now you're going to need a way to take their credit card. I'm going to recommend they pull out their credit card and you write. So when you sign up for Vyral Marketing, we ask you for your card over the phone. CSV, billing address, expiration, and then we go type it in and run it. We don't send you an invoice that you have to pay. You're not paying us by check. Got it? You give me the card. I can run it. I can run it every single month. That's called a virtual terminal. It's kind of the highest tier of verification you're going to have to go through. So I'm going to recommend you can use any vendor you want. I get these questions all the time. I recommend you go sign up for PayPal's virtual terminal for credit card processing. So what that allows you to do is now you have a signed contract, and now they fill out a credit card authorization form, which they'll give you, or you can take it over the phone and you literally type in their credit card and put in whatever amount you want and you run it. Are we clear? That gives you control over the money and makes it easy for payment versus like sending invoices you have to chase, sending an email, some program, expect Zelle or whatever. This is the right way to do it. It's called a virtual terminal. Most people don't know that. I want to share that with you to help you out. Okay. Then you probably need some type of credit card authorization form that is like an addendum to your agreement. You can go to Google and find these anywhere. Look, credit card authorization form templates. Perfect. I just did it. There you go. Right. Credit card authorization form. Sign the agreement that specifies what you're paying me for money. And then you take their credit card information and you go type it in and you set it up as a subscription. And now you're billing them directly every single month. Any questions so far on the money? We're going to talk about who to go after here in a minute on the agenda. Okay, cool. All right, Frank, I got something to sell. Cool. I got a contract. I know what I'm selling. We'll talk about price here in a minute. I know how to take the credit card. I know how to bill for it. You got to kind of have that. You got to have that infrastructure down. So now let's talk about who to approach. Who's probably going to pay you? Who are your best prospects to sell advertising to? Okay. So first off, I want you to understand there's a lot of money trading hands. This is called the NAR Economic Impact Study here. When you go here, it shows you how much money is made when a home sells. Let's go to Utah. When you guys sell a home, you put about 170 grand in other people's pockets. There's a lot of money moving downstream from a home sale. Got it? So when someone's looking to move, there's a lot of money changing hands downstream. That's just in Utah. Let's look at Pennsylvania, Julian. There you go. A lot of money moving hands. For our friends in California, look at this. Look at that. Okay. So you can spend some time here of like, look at the economic impact of a single family home sale of all the money that's moving around. Okay. So your data is being sold by data brokers and they're called pre-mover lists. Okay. Because there's businesses that want access to these life-changing situations where people are spending money so they can market to them. And those in the industry are called pre-mover lists. And again, I'm just going to go to Google and type this in, okay? Pre-mover list. So do you see how Data Axle, Exact Data, Welcome Wagon? Oh, that's funny. I like that name, Welcome Wagon. Look at that. 85% of new movers use the first business. Dude, there you go. Take that headline and put it at the top of your sponsor agreement. Got it? So when you're asking for money, that's the headline I want you to use on the top of your advertising agreement. And I have a way for you to connect with this prime audience. I can help you with some new mover marketing. And these people spend more a lot, 5 times more likely if you are the first to reach them. I have the data. I have the list. I have the audience. That's what you're selling. Okay. I love Welcome Wagon. That is a good name. All right. So Data Man Group, they're slinging this list. Identify the addresses of consumers who have currently listed their home for sale. You got it before they even list. You got it more upstream than they do. They're just scraping all the FISBOs and selling it to people every 3 months. See that? Here we go. The list is endless. Mortgage and storage companies, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, home inspectors, insurance agents, cleaning companies, cable and satellite TV, locksmiths, pool services, landscapers, lawn services, pest control, painters, electricians, carpenters, floor coverings, window treatment, security, home alarm systems, and air duct services. Woo! Are you guys understanding that there's some value in your data? And there's some value in people moving that you have in your database. I want you to see people are reselling it. All right. They're called pre-mover lists. So if you're having trouble maybe with the language of how to sell your advertising, go look at the websites of people slinging pre-mover lists. And that's probably the same content and copy and advertising headlines you would use. Okay. Now I will give you my top draft picks for people to pay you. These are going to be businesses that are pretty close in home services around a transaction that are not on the settlement statement. So, from what I know, and what you need to double check before you take any money from anyone, I don't care who it is, of RESPA, all right, that are not as heavily regulated as like a mortgage or title company. So, I'm going to say a general contractor because people want to remodel their houses before they sell. And there's no place to move. So they might have to just add an EDU or remodel their existing house. Julianne, that's a huge opportunity for you. How many people do you have that called you that need to probably get a better home, but have no place to move?
I'd say probably half of the people that actually I've spoken to so far.
You should pitch them on the idea of maybe just remodeling their house and get them a quote and hook
Yep.
your contractor up.
I actually have one listing that actually is listed, and I think that's probably where I'm going to go.
Yeah. Stacy in Dallas, who's doing all your construction work on your, you have a contractor, I'm guessing, that's doing all your,
We have an in-house contractor that works just for us.
ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't go really hit him up for money then because it's your
But
own
he
money.
could train other contractors or find other contractors. It's something he's been talking about us helping
Mhm.
him do, actually.
Yeah, cool. So that's someone you should go talk to. Next is solar. I don't know if that's big in Pennsylvania, but solar is probably getting, is solar in Utah? I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, solar companies, they spend a lot of money. You know, um, what I would just do is just type in, I don't know, solar panels, Salt Lake. There you go. Yeah, Creative Energies, Titan Solar. Looks like they need some help. Ship Solar. Yeah, I mean, look, EcoWatch, this is a lead generator. They're playing the same game. This is the realtor.com. You know, they're paying a big piece of their deal to get leads generated here. Same thing, same game. Try to figure out, Blue Raven Solar. Give them a call. Great. Who's the owner? Oh, they're all over the place. Look at that. Okay, they're a big one then. They could be just a referral company. Maybe they refer leads. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Yelp. This is probably a good place to start. Yeah, find out, look up these people and say, hey, like, start maybe building a relationship with some solar installers that are spending money on lead generation advertising, want to grow. Financial advisors. They're taught in all of their training when you buy financial advising coaching to partner with realtors because usually it's an older demographic that's selling their house and they have a lot of equity. Um, it's going to be difficult to get a sponsor from somebody who's like an employee that's heavily regulated. You're going to be looking for a registered investment advisor. So I would go to, I think, is it RIA, Registered Investment Advisor website? I can't remember where it is, but there's a website where you can search for an actual registered investment advisor that is a fiduciary and search for who's an RIA in your city and then reach out to them. And you're looking for more of the entrepreneurs of the bunch that really want to grow. And then if they hit that behavior style, they'd be willing to work with you. And the best thing you do with a financial advisor is like seminar, actually with all these people, by the way. Remember we talked about like doing seminars, like what you should do to improve your home, what to do with the proceeds of your home. They would love to do co-marketed seminars with you, which is a totally different discussion, but just something to think about. Okay. Property management companies. Hey, I don't want to sell it. I'm going to rent it. You guys probably get that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Landscapers make a lot of money. And a lot of them are on subscription services. So there's good margins in it, especially in the more affluent prices. And they usually charge monthly fees, so they're willing to spend some money to the customer versus like one-time big projects. If you find somebody who's landscaping or hardscaping, that's their trucks are driving around where all the rich people live in town, go find them. They're doing just fine. And they would probably love to work with you in some way. I'd also share maybe an HVAC company as well. And it can keep going on and on and on, but there's enough, right? So as far as I know, and you need to always check this, but RESPA doesn't apply because they're not on the settlement statement. I didn't bring up a mortgage company, didn't bring up a title company, right? Didn't bring up a home inspector, right? These are just all other businesses that would probably buy a pre-mover list that's not involved in the nature of the transaction. They just might make money downstream from one that's not directly in the transaction. Got it? So it's going to be lot less risk to figure that out. Now, if you are going to go to a mortgage company or you are going to go to a title company, the agreement still needs to be between you and the mortgage or title company. And they're buying advertising with you. Are we clear? Vyral can't take the money. I can't be sending invoices to people, charging them half, let's say, if we're not providing any services, nor are they buying advertising for Vyral. It doesn't make any sense in investigation. The agreement's between you and the sponsor, right? If you are going to take money from someone on the settlement statement, please lean on the in-house attorney to set it up correctly. Okay. And then if you really want to make sure that you're doing it right, you get what's called a third-party valuation. So you two didn't conspire to figure out what the monthly amount is. Some third party came in and valued it, which is important in any type of litigation. And the company I'm going to recommend to you, if you guys ever want to set up money from and collecting money from people on the settlement statement, is this M-Link Solutions. It's who we used. They did a nice job for us. There it is. But this company will help set up the symphony, let's say, of all these people involved in transactionally legally changing hands of money, as far as they promise. No affiliation. But these types of companies exist. See the valuation relationship structure? You're going to have to spend a lot of money and work on all of this to make sure it's in compliance if you're going to go out to people on the settlement statement. But then again, you probably don't need to go through all this if they're not. But I can't guide you in this because I'm not an attorney. So don't listen to me. This is just to help guide you in the right direction. Are we all clear? So you have some general guidance of where the North Star lies if you want to go get money. All right. So now we're going to role play. Dallas, I am going to be a real estate agent and you are going to be a general contractor. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Dallas, it's Frank Klesitz.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, we know each other. Thanks for remembering me. Hey, thanks for fixing up that rental property like 5 years ago that I paid you 20 grand for.
Yeah, you're very welcome. That was nice.
Good. You want more of that?
Change the light bulbs and everything. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's do it.
How's business?
Construction, new build construction is down. So we're looking for new opportunities.
Oh, you want more business?
Yes.
Great. What are you doing to get that business right now? What's your plan? Just curious.
Word of mouth is pretty strong. We've been around a long time, so we're not spending a lot of money right now, direct to consumer.
Yeah. Want me to help you get some business?
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
Well, I got a bunch of people whose homes have really dated and damaged, and they need to get like an FHA mortgage, but they're so screwed up, none of the buyers can afford to fix them up at 8% interest rates. You want to go fix these things up for me? I'll pay you.
And sounds good.
Great. Perfect. In addition to that, there's not many homes for sale. We're probably seeing a lot of people that want to renovate their home and remodel their home. Instead of buying a new one, are you open to doing remodeling projects or maybe even adding on an additional room for any of the homeowners we're working with?
Yeah, that's within our wheelhouse. We could do that.
Oh, that's great.
Like the easiest client ever.
I know. But Dallas, doesn't trying to find the client, isn't that such a pain in the ass?
Yeah, mostly don't want to do that.
I know it's hard, isn't it? I know. I do it every single day. Do you know that I have videos going out and emails going out and letters going out? We're mailing 5,000 letters a month. We have people on the phones trying to find somebody who wants to sell their home. I think we're spending like 5, 6, 7 grand a month on marketing right now. It's a lot. Wouldn't you agree, Dallas?
That's a lot.
I would like to sell you advertising and all that to help you get customers. If you can help chip in on that, would you be open to that if the money made sense?
Yeah, I mean, how do you have experience with this?
Yes, I do. Dallas, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh man. I
Where are
love
you? Where do you?
McDonald's.
Okay, what's your? I don't go there. What's your favorite bar? What Dallas? What do you like to do most to relax? Where do you go to chill out?
Oh man, there's not a lot of that in this real estate market. um, um, we like to go up to Park City
Oh,
and
perfect.
yeah, and there's a
Where? What
few
hotel?
Park City Mountain Resort.
Okay, got it. Dallas, I'm taking you to Park City Mountain Resort. We're going to go up there. We're going to talk about it. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Let's go.
Great. Let's set an appointment to go to Dallas Park City Resort, and we are going to talk about it because I'm looking for a long-term relationship with you. And yes, I'm going to ask you for money, but I'm only going to ask you if it makes sense.
Okay.
There you go. That's how you set the appointment. Stacy, what do you think about that?
That was awesome. That was awesome. It was perfect because that's why we have an in-house contractor because he was so sick of looking for leads.
100%.
It's so that you hit on that. It works, It works.
Yeah,
Ryan.
and I guess we sort of build his marketing budget into getting discounts on work, so he doesn't charge us as much because we're
Yeah,
taking
he's already paying you indirectly because he's working for less money because he has consistent income.
That's
Mhm.
correct.
Yeah, because you're taking the risk. Yeah.
I mean, and
Brian,
we
what,
don't have that structured or anything, but we should probably get that done.
Brian, what did you learn from that little role play exercise?
You just got to ask.
Yeah. And notice I didn't try to close him on the phone or the first conversation. I asked him, let's go. I actually want to meet with you. I actually want to take you to a place that you like. Where do you want to go? This is about you. And there was no false pretense under the meeting, was there? No false pretense. I was very clear. I pre-qualified him. I said that I probably reasonably had the business that I could talk to him. And now I would just go hang out and build the relationship. And I would show up to that meeting with the agreement of what you want to charge for the advertising. And you can charge whatever it is that you want, whatever price that you want, that you think is reasonable, of maybe in a relation to maybe how much business they could reasonably get from the exposure. If I had to give you a number, since we're talking about viral marketing, why don't you start with half the fee? Why don't you start with like $350 a month or something like that, right? And that gets your fee for viral marketing from $625 a month down to $350 a month. Now, if you went through all that with the general contractor, you took him to Park City, you hung out with them, and you said, "Can you toss me $350 a month?" I think they're probably going to say yes. especially when you say, here's all my videos, here's my blog, here's my emails going out, here's the open rate, here's the click rate, here's the letters I'm sending, here's where it's going to go, here's everything I plan on doing with you. Plus, we're going to talk every single month. We talk to each other about business. Would you like that relationship? Can you help give me money to pitch in to go get all this business I'm taking this risk on? So see how I kind of position it as like they're kind of helping, they're kind of participating in the money and the risk to go find the business in the first place. That's how you sell it. Julian, any ahas in that little role play exercise?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Jeez. And
There
you
you go.
just, that just rolled off your head, didn't it? It just,
Doing that for a
boom,
long
right
time.
there.
And you know, it's funny.
Wow.
When I was raising money for buying real estate, nothing there changes, just the amount of the ask. I was asking for millions. Hey, I just need like 3 million. Where do you want to go to dinner? I'll buy you whatever you want. You tell me. I'm on the next flight out. Right. But that whole process really just the only difference. The money is irrelevant. You just got to charge the money that makes sense. It's more the process and the courting that leads up to that appropriately under the right pretenses to ask for the cash.
And you're
And I think,
creating a relationship with that person while you're on the
yeah,
phone rather than trying to shove it down their throat and getting them to make a decision right then and there to give you money.
yeah, it's consultative relation based selling. I can't even begin to tell you like the emails that I'm shared from the sponsors of how incredibly poorly and threatened they're treated by like the real estate agent.
Mm.
Hey, pay this bill for me. If not, screw you. I'm going to someone else. Probably not how I would treat my advertisers, because you agree, but that's really how a lot of them are treated. It's almost like vendor abuse. Go about it this way. All right. So
I did it with my lender.
good. Great.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys think about this? So Brian, you're going after real estate agents. Who wants to be in front of real estate agents that you know?
All those people that you had on that list, I mean, all of them do.
Oh, okay, good. Do you have a relationship with a contractor, solar company, financial advisor, property management company, landscaping, HVAC?
Yeah, most
Again,
of them.
I can throw mortgage or title in there. You just got to have more paperwork and do it right. Got it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Go book a meeting, man. Go do that call exactly like I did with Dallas. Go ask them where they want to meet. And you go there and you go hang out where they're comfortable, what they want to do, and talk to them and see if you can ask them to see if you can pitch in to buy advertising, meet with you, coach with you. Just leave the referrals out of it. You don't need to complicate it with that because you start getting into murky waters. They're buying proportionally represented, ideally third party evaluated co-advertising services. All right. Dallas and Stacy, who do you have in mind to raise some money with?
Well, we have financial advisors already hitting us up, asking for our referrals. And definitely have landscapers. I mean, yeah, these guys should be paying me money.
We already refer them all and we don't ask for money. I think it's gonna be super easy and they already know, like, and trust us. Like, we already have great relationships with all these people that I think at this point would love to give back to us.
Yeah.
Finally.
Here's what you do. Say, I'm literally going to take the money you give me and I'm going to mail more letters. I'm a flow through entity. Got it? I am literally going to take this money and I'm going to go use it to get us more business. That's what a co-marketing agreement is.
Yeah.
You know? Like, show them. Marketing works best when you demonstrate. Show them what you are going to do when you are given the resources for marketing. That'll help you. Okay. So we got about 5 minutes left. That was my pitch on, look, all right, Frank, I'm going to go spend $625 a month on Vyral. Which you realize if you understand the scope of everything we talked about over the past 8 weeks, it's a pretty good price. How can I get the price down? Well, go find 1 or 2 advertisers. Maybe one person pays half or one person pays the full amount or 2 people pay half. Sure. But you have to go into an agreement with them and take the money direct. And I showed you how to do that, right? And then could you effectively half price or entirely zero cost your entire viral marketing fee? Do you think that's reasonable if you studied today's lesson and kind of wrapped your head around everything we shared today? Yeah, 100%, 100%. But one of the mistakes that are made is it's very difficult to like raise the money up front before you do 1 through 7. You need to go do lessons 1 through 7. And then this is just a little extra thing on the back end to get the whole thing paid for. And now you have an infinite flywheel to grow your business without worried about that fixed cost that you have to cover every month on 100% variable real estate commissions, which is very stressful. I'm sure everyone can agree. All right. Stacy and Dallas. What else do you guys want to know? It's our last time together. We start a new class 1 week from now. So we're going to take next week off. And then I'm going to take another 2 to 3 clients through all 8 lessons again, just like we did. Help them out. What else do you guys want to know to get results?
No, today's class was really powerful. I liked it a lot. That retire with spring tip was really good. And I've been thinking more how, so like just even last week, I had an agent that's like, come on a listing appointment with me. I want to learn from you. I want to see how you do it. And I was like, hey, come to Real and I'll show you everything. So I attracted him to Real. He's
Good.
now in my brokerage. I went on a listing appointment with him last week and we closed him on the funded fix and list. So I'm
awesome.
also thinking like, how can I maybe do more of that? Like just going on listing appointments with agents and doing the listing, you know, because they want the help. They're newer, things like that.
Yeah, this has been a master class in an eye-opening towards like what is available, what also needs to be done. And it's a little bit overwhelming, but this is the reality of being a successful, like truly successful business owner instead of just an operator. And I think that like this class and everything that we've learned inside of it is a roadmap towards getting there. And it's no joke. Like it's a lot. And the way you've broken it down class by class makes it digestible and at least provides that roadmap in a very clear way. And you're genius. Every time I sit here, like I'm inspired. I'm also like, man, Frank is
15 years, man.
doing something wrong. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's the 10,000 hour rule here for sure. Thank you. I appreciate the 10 words. Good. Want you guys to do well.
I agree
Brian.
with you, Dallas, that there is a different brain inside of Frank's head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's astonishing, inspiring. It's really amazing just to listen to you and have these things come together here in these last 8 weeks. It has been a game changer for me. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but yeah, it is overwhelming. But let me tell you, you get it all put together, it launches you into the next level of your business. And that's no joke. It's done that for me.
We're here to help.
About you guys, but it's been great.
Brian, do you have any questions for me? Anything else that you need to know to execute other than like probably making a to not do list and getting up earlier and having meetings and executing every single day, which is usually what you got to do when you have to grind it out, right?
Yeah, there's no secret there. No, just I mean, I got to go back and review all this, right? It's there's stuff that you forget or slips through the cracks, and going back and doing that. So
That's my phone number. Need help, you call me. Got it? That's my email address. You need help, email me. Or if we're never able to meet because we're all so busy, that's my calendar. And grab a time. How's that?
Perfect. Thank
Awesome,
you.
Frank.
All right, guys.
Been
Thanks
great.
for spending 8 weeks with me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
thanks.